Well, hello everybody. It's Friday, April 17th, 2020. This is episode 5 of Viral Vlog. I thought I'd start it out in a different setting than normal. It's kind of a gray, overcast day here in Philly. It's not chilly cold, but it's just a little bit, an overcast gray day for the spring. Got a pretty special episode planned for you today. Kelly and Emily are working in the backyard, planting up some seedlings. They're in a COVID pod, so they can socially cluster while the rest of us have to distance from them. So I'm going to check in on them and see how they're doing with their planting their seedlings. And they'll explain to you a little bit what they're doing. Might do a music jam. I've been working on a collage of some old drawings that I had done when I was ages 14 to 16 that I dug out. Everybody's digging out their old stuff. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up too much on the camera there, but it might. I've been working on my nonfiction writing. I've had ambient anxiety that's been interfering with my ability to concentrate on that, but just yesterday I finally decided to bite the bullet and get into that a little bit. So let's do those things. All right. Are you ready to be on COVID camera?
Oh yeah, I am.
This is a COVID moment.
Nice camcorder.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make these things really small now. You can hold them in your hand. I remember the days when you had to have a truck to carry one of these things, you know? I'm that old, you know? So what are you guys doing?
Well, we're taking these baby plants that were overseeded like this, where there's too many in a tray, and we're giving them each their own individual tray, like this.
That's cool.
Yeah. So their roots can grow, and then we're gonna have a plant sale in about 3 weeks. And a lot of these will get planted in right around then too, into the apothecary garden.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But why are we doing it in the backyard?
Yeah, why are we doing it in the backyard? The big COVID question.
COVID question. You want to answer that COVID question?
Yeah. Do you want to answer it?
I don't really know the whole story, but it just seems like these precious little babies were locked up and left for dead.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Greenhouse that couldn't be touched for fear of contamination.
That's right. Yeah, the little baby plants were left for dead at Bartram's for fear of COVID contamination.
Yeah, so thank God for automatic watering.
Yeah. Thank God for automatic watering. That's real, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they would have all died.
Yeah.
They definitely would have all died.
Yeah.
But Mandy rescued them and is taking them out sort of stealthily, a little few at a time, to this backyard.
And now we can see the top of Time Cube's loft out here.
Finally.
We never see that. That's the roof of Time Cube's little coop out here. Except when it's a pigeon, you call it a loft for whatever reason. You know?
I thought you were joking because it's so fancy.
Oh no, they call pigeon coops lofts.
Huh.
It's just one of them things, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a cage, it's not a coop, it's a loft, you know. But yeah, it's also like a loft, like those fancy New York City yuppie apartments or whatever, you know.
You need those like silver numbers.
Yeah. I should put silver numbers on that thing.
That's how you know.
That's how you know that person is rich.
Yeah.
Actually, the new way you know about a loft is if in the lobby you can see a really weird mural.
Oh, that's right.
It's like Bob Marley.
Right.
Well, I think it's funny because it's called a loft, and something is lofty. That means it's above all the other things, you know. And it's the social hierarchy. It's almost like a humble brag, you know. Anyway, with that thought,
It's just a brag.
oh, Mandy says, ask them who usually pots up those seedlings.
Oh.
Well, who usually pots up the seedlings is the students from the Building Your Home Apothecary class come in shifts and work with me and Mandy. Mandy's sort of like scurrying around working at Buckford's, like trying to not do too many things at once. So yeah, it's usually the students and I. Mandy gets us all set up and then we just stand outside and it's so lovely.
That's cool.
Here.
I'm the student now.
Yeah, Emily's now the Building Your Home Apothecary student.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell.
Yeah, the representative or whatever they call that.
Yeah, she's symbolically everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, they pay to do this, but I just do it for free.
It's true. You're getting an excellent deal. Okay, so the plant sale is happening on May 9th, Saturday, May 9th, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. All these plants that have been lovingly potted up will be $3 each. It's going to be in Fairmount Park, West Fairmount Park. We're not exactly sure of the location.
Ask a pug.
Ask them.
Ask
They probably won't know where it is.
Yeah.
But,
Ask a beatnik.
well, if you go to buildingyourhomeapothecary.com, there will be details there coming up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people should know that we have dandelion for sale.
Okay. They have dandelion for sale in case that doesn't pick up on the camera. Okay, so this is my collage project I've been working on. This is a collage made out of scraps I cut out of notebooks and sketchbooks and stuff from high school, which I left, I think it was 16, maybe 17 years old. So it kind of goes like age 14 to 16. So it's like 1990, 91 until about 93. The collage is basically just a lot of little elements that I liked that I thought were kind of salvageable out of things that I didn't like parts of. I thought they were corny or whatever. But it's funny because I also tried to preserve a little bit of stuff that gives you a sense of what the notebooks were really like and stuff. So I made all these lists of bands that I wanted to track down recordings of, and then I made a note to myself when I called the record store to try to order these bands I was looking for. It says, call to tell them you want them on cassette, and there's a little doodle I did of a cassette at some different time. But high school notebooks, like we were learning about Abraham Lincoln or something, so there's Lincoln and his son Tad, and there's the Mayflower or something, and it's just a lot of little things. And I was laughing to myself because I thought, boy, I did all these doodles in my high school notebooks and stuff. It's no wonder I was a D student. But they have their moments, and these are their moments. There's September '92 and a date on something. But and these are the sundry notebooks and stuff that the things come from. So I'm gonna make a couple of these, and I'm on to my my second one. So these are some of the elements, the little elements that I'm clipping out. So you kind of, I like these little, trees on something, and so yeah, it's just a lot of things like that. See if there's. This is actually a later notebook. This is from after I moved to Philly, so this is like early 1995. Yeah, I don't know what's good, and there are just a lot of unfinished little things. Some of them could have probably been pretty good if they, got finished even. But there's a 95. Oh, this is kind of funny. This is the squat that I lived in 95 on 528 Bainbridge, and I drew the room I was in or something one time, which is a real slice of life because there's no photographs of that place or anything. There's like a mannequin, and the old ratty chair that I used to sit in. This actually really took me back, this little sketch. It's not the greatest sketch, it's okay, but it's just kind of a neat little slice of life thing. But yeah, I mean, here's my old high school notebooks and everything, and all these little clippings. Here's some other things I could maybe use on a future collage. This is kind of funny. Garfield. Yeah, it was old. Going through old stuff. I guess that's what everybody's doing these days. Oh, it's kind of funny. T-set war. Oh, big truck. Yeah, where I grew up at, people had those big monster trucks, out in the rural PA. So I got big truck rolling down the road, big truck with a deer in the back, big truck with a beer in my hand, big truck, now I know I'm a man. Big truck, I got 4-wheel drive, big truck, king of the road, with Alabama blasting, Hulk Hogan, rebel flag on back, gun rack inside, stack of pornos on the ground, big truck, smells like cologne. It's a song, some song for some imaginary band I never had. It sounds like it's supposed to be like a Dead Kennedys type song or something like. Anyways, then in another stack I was putting artwork that I thought I might not still think it's the greatest artwork I ever did or anything, but it's just ones that I thought didn't work in a collage or just was neat for what it was. So these are ones I did when I was 12, 13, and I did quill pen drawings, and I would just draw all these little animals, all kinds of little wildlife, and there's a crow going, and then I would do these this was a little different style I did. I don't know what that was all about, but I got my ducks going. I got my dragons. It's kind of like that one dragon from the skateboard thing. Got my dragons. All kinds of birds and stuff. That's when I was practicing pen techniques, really was what I was doing. This is from the art awards, things that we would enter into. Can't quite see the detail on some of these, and then this one I was probably 14, I think. It's pretty cheesy, but it's kind of cool. It has its cool things about it. I kind of like these trees here. There's always these little elements that I kind of like about them. That's why I've been sort of doing the collage stuff. I like this guy. Here he comes, frog. I like this. So yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to with this stuff. Oh, this is kind of funny. I did a collage back even in those days for the first band that I really was in, that I played the drums in with me and my friend Kevin, still have a band now, but it was called Lice. And this was our tape, our demo tape or whatever. Or I shouldn't even call it a demo. We weren't demoing anything. It was our tape, but this was our tape, and it had kind of a collage element. Anyways, so yeah. And it says I'm high on lice. That was the name of our band, Lice. So, this is kind of funny. The 1991 Central Pennsylvania Scholastic Writing Awards from the Harrisburg Patriot News, and they used one of my high school drawings on the cover here, which was like a portrait drawing, and I did these, got my shading going in a kind of weird way. And I don't even have this drawing. I don't know whatever happened to this drawing. I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world ever these days, but the shading is kind of interesting I did on it. I guess that's why they might have liked it and used it on there, but they got one somewhere else in here too. There's another one of my weird little drawings that made it into here. Kind of a crazy cat comics inspired thing. And I never got deep into comics, but I did like Crazy Cat, so sometimes I'd sort of do these backgrounds and stuff like George Harriman did. See what I mean? It's a little bit like New Mexico or something. And then my tree with all the weird things in it. Anyways, so that's that project. What should we do now? I'm going to do a cooking segment this week. I've never done a cooking segment before, and some people requested it. And I said, okay, I'm going to do a cooking segment. And action! Okay, everybody, welcome to our cooking show. Me and Mandy are going to show you how to cook during Corona time. Now, I am going to make a food, and first you need some bread. You keep the bread in the refrigerator, that way it keeps longer. That's called a pro tip, you know? Now, then what you need is you need some peanut butter. Artisanal peanut butter, fancy peanut butter is better. This is 100% peanuts. Do not eat if you have a peanut allergy. Otherwise, eat that. Okay. Now, one takes 2 pieces of bread. This is piece number 1, and this is piece number 2. And sometimes I like to get a plate to put them on. So we take a piece of bread, we put it on a plate, we get our other piece of bread prepared. A lot of the magic of food is all in preparation. So it's important to remember it's 99% preparation, 0% perspiration. Do you see me sweating? No. That's because I'm prepared. Now, that's why I was in Boy Scouts. I was a Weebalo. Weebalo. That means we will be loyal Scouts. And we won't sweat while we make dinner. Now, I've applied the paste to the bread. That's what holds the whole thing together. You see, that's the paste in the middle. So you got your peanut paste, and then what you want to do is you want to get jam, preserves, honey, jelly, toothpaste, some sort of thing like that. Some sort of flavorful sweet paste to go with the protein-rich nut-based paste that you've applied to the first piece of bread, what we'll call the base. So now that our base is filled out, we're going to want to put this strawberry compound on the top as a sort of dressing, if you will. So we're applying the strawberry paste. Now you can use mint paste. You can use any kind of paste you want, as long as it has enough contrast to the peanut base paste to make an interesting combination. Because one thing about food is you don't want to make it too boring, or you won't be interested in it enough to eat, and then you'll stop eating. Your immune system will be weakened, and you'll either die from lack of nutrition, or something else will take you out because you're so tired. That's right. So now this is, you see how we've got the base, we've got the top, we've got our paste in the middle. That's pretty good. But I kind of feel like it needs something else. I know. We can add to it soup, but it looks like I'm out of my kind of soup. But that's okay, because coronavirus time is all about getting creative. So we're gonna make pumpkin pie mix. Oh man, she's shaking her head. Look at my Tuscan style white bean. I have no idea why it's Tuscan style. Do you? No. What makes it Tuscan style? I guess that's... Well, anyway, this has a lot of style. And so to make this, first you have to get a container. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can cup your hands like this, and put them over a lower flame so that they don't heat as quickly, because your hands will burn if the flame is too close or too strong. So if you're cooking soup using your cupped hands, make sure that your flame is lower and not as strong, and it'll take a little longer. But if you have a pot, what you can do is first you open the lid of the can. You don't want to just put the can right on the flame and cook it in the can, because the paper will catch on fire. Now, if you remove the paper label, you can just put the can right on the stove and not even open it, heat it up, and then just open the can and you got your soup going. But we've got time here. We're being very careful and very artistic about this. So remove the contents of the can with using your friend gravity. We're glued to the surface of this planet by this mysterious force called gravity, and gravity is extremely complicated how it works. It involves some things that violate classical physics, I believe, even. And so the great thing about gravity is that we don't need to understand how it works. It just works for us. It just does things for us. Isn't that wonderful? That's how we know there is a God, because gravity just does all these wonderful things for us. See, gravity just dumped this soup in here, and there it is. And now it's almost ready, but we have to heat it up. So we put it on the stove with a flame. Now what you want to do if somebody else has something on the stove is you take their thing off and you put your thing on. Luckily we have more burners, so we can turn the other burner on. Now, if you don't have a stove with gas-powered flame that automatically heats your stuff up, there's a lot of different ways that you can make fire. Probably the best way is to wait for lightning to hit something, and then quickly use that opportunity to heat up your soup or whatever it is you have. So it looks like our soup is ready. It's already boiling, as you can see. There it goes. It's already boiling. So I think we're ready. And that is how you make a delicious meal in the time of global pandemic lockdown. So I hope that you'll all discover this joy of cooking at home, and try not to burn yourself if you're using hand cooking technique. And I'd love to see what some of you can make at home using these pointers.
Oh, hi. My name is Ferdy, and Justin's about to do riff jams in the basement. I don't liking riff jams. I think that it's too loud, and I don't like any music with percussion. Percussion is scary and too loud. I like music that's delicate and harmonious.
Okay, Ferdy. Well, I won't take you down to the basement so you don't have to hear the riff jams, okay?
But it'll still be scary hearing it coming through the floor.
Okay. Well, Mandy will take care of you. I'll be up soon. Okay, so let's go do some hard rocking riff jams. I'm going to record some riffs and then try to play them back through the bass speaker and play the drums along with my riffs. It's called riff jams,
Did you like the beach champ? Say, I hated the beach champ. Okay, I'll take you back out to your loft now. Love you, sweetie. I love you, Time Cube. Say hello to everybody for the vlog. Say hello to everybody for the vlog. Yeah. Okay, sweetie.
Okay, I wanted to make up for a mistake I made last week because I accidentally edited out some things on our art tour. So I wanted to get these included in a future art tour. So we're not going to do household art tour or object show and tell this time, but we'll just do these couple to make up for last week. Okay? So this mosaic mirror, this beautiful mosaic mirror, was made by Mandy's mother. And she does these mosaic tile pieces that are really, really gorgeous. So you can see that. She does ones that are like landscapes, where if you get far back from them, you can really see the gradations of color and stuff. And this one is more of a decorative style. Yeah, so that's that one. We didn't get to last week because I accidentally edited it out. Not on purpose. It was an editing. I had an editing mishap last week.
So, one day we were going to the art museum and it was closed. So we stopped at the library instead. Right? No. So what happened? Oh, we went to the library and I found this book. And then we sat on the art museum steps and looked at the book. That's why I'm remembering the art museum. Anyway, this artist who I'd never heard of, Christiane Kubrick, I was really drawn to her paintings in the art museum. The library, and this is one of her pieces. It turns out she's just an amazing painter. She paints these really hyper-realistic still lifes mostly, and somehow you can tell she spends like crazy amounts of time observing. And somehow, through the process, real magic comes out of these still lives. And it turns out you can go to England and sign up for a painting class to paint in her garden, which of course I want to do so bad. And so me and Justin liked the drawing so much that I got him this one for his birthday. And well, also just a minor detail, it does turn out that she was married to Stanley Kubrick. But anyway, this is one of her pieces.
So this still life painting is by my mother, who's an incredible artist. And I wish I had a lot more examples of her artwork around the house. Of course, I always figured, well, I could just go visit her and see them, and now who would have seen this coming? Well, I sort of did, but I didn't know if it had happened in the next 100 years, and it happened to have happened, so here we are. But anyway, this is one example of her work that I have, and it's super beautiful, and I'm lucky to have it here. Of course, if you go back in time, she had somewhat of a different style when she was in her 20s, and then, but she's got hundreds of paintings and stuff. And mothers are the most underrated artists, I always say. And
here's another piece by her, the butterfly.
Oh, the butterfly, yeah, she did these little butterfly boxes, which is like super realistic. It almost looks like somebody just took an actual butterfly and shellacked it onto here. But of course, she was a big influence on me getting into art and stuff as a kid. Would have to be, I don't remember a specific moment or anything, but there was art supplies around and stuff, so, that's a thing, Oh, here's another one of Mandy's mom's mosaics. Actually, one of her more landscape style ones. Yeah, so that's gorgeous. Also, one more show and tell for this week, and then we'll stop show and tell. This thing looks too much like those pictures you see of COVID. It's disturbing.
Well, also, it was in the Christiane Kubrick.
Oh, right. So anyways, but we have this guy.
Oh, hi.
And some of you may recognize this guy if you're from the 90s, because he was in Nirvana's breakthrough 1992 album Nevermind. And he lives here now. And so he's super famous. He's one of the really famous residents of our house here. And I actually had a person from Germany that was fixated on buying this Nirvana Nevermind monkey off of me a couple years ago. And I just refused to part with him because I felt so lucky when I came across Chim Chim, the Nirvana's 1992 breakthrough album Nevermind Monkey. And so he's actually the one that wrote all of the songs on Nirvana's 1992 breakthrough album Nevermind. And he's actually the one that killed Kurt Cobain. He wanted to become the new main guy in Nirvana. And he paid the guy from the Dwarves to poison Kurt Cobain and make a body duplicate. No, anyway. So I'm getting ahead of myself. But that's Chim Chim, the Nirvana monkey. And that's his buddy. Okay. Mandy's doing the slitting your throat sign. I'm not sure what that means. I think that means she's going to slit my throat.
So the other day we were walking in the park near here, and it's a park that's pretty old, and we discovered this tree, this cherry blossom tree had fallen over in a windstorm. Remember how windy it was on, Monday?
I do.
Well, this beautiful Kanzan cherry tree had blown over in the storm, and if you can see, I really believe this is one of the older varieties of it, a pretty special, more rare one. It seems like it's near to those extra big pink cupcake trees that are in bloom right now. But this is such a beautiful one, and I think this weekend I'm gonna go and see if I can take cuttings of it and see if I can make it work. But it's now, I brought it inside and it all bloomed, and isn't it so much beautiful?
It's so beautiful. It's like too beautiful.
It's almost too beautiful.
Okay, everybody, thanks for watching my vlog, episode number 5. But let's say goodbye from everybody. This is everybody likes to hang out in here. Say goodbye, Skookle. I love you. Say goodbye, all the Raggedies. We love you. I love you guys too. It's kind of nice you've all got off work. You can hang out up above the closet there, you know. Usually they go to work. Some of them are bartenders, and you know, some of them are lion tamers. They have all these different jobs, but now they've just been stuck at home, and it's a lot. You know, we've got a lot of mouths to feed around here. That's why we got to do our cooking segment. And this is Ferdy. Say goodbye, Ferdy.
I am tired.
Okay, I understand, sweetie. You can get some rest. I know you had a big day at work today. Ferdy's got a serious job. She's got to be really cute, and then we feed her, you know. She earns her living that way. Say bye, Ferdy. I love you. You're a superstar. Everybody loves you on the vlog. Oh, sweetie.